I once believed love was soft, gentle, a place where two hearts could rest without fear. But life taught me something much harsher. Sometimes love doesn't fail you. People do. Hi, my name is Maya. I'm 34 years old. And for the first time in my life, I'm finally ready to say this truth out loud. This is the story I carried quietly inside my chest for years. The story of how I loved deeply, broke silently, and rebuilt myself piece by piece. I always thought love was supposed to be soft, gentle, a place where two people could breathe without fear. But the truth is, sometimes love only reveals who someone is and who they never had the courage to become. In the beginning, I wasn't looking for a perfect life. I just wanted a partner, someone to walk beside me, someone who would hold my hand when things were heavy and laugh with me when they were light. For a while, Daniel was that man, soft-spoken, gentle, hopeful. He made me believe the world was still kind. We lived in a small rented house with cracked floors and noisy walls that shook when the wind blew. But somehow, we always managed to find peace inside those tiny rooms. A little rice, a little laughter, and 1,000 dreams we whispered at night. When our first child was born, Daniel cried harder than I did. When the second arrived, he promised he'd work twice as hard. When the third came, he kissed my forehead and said, "Maya, I'll give you everything you deserve." I believed him. Maybe because love makes us believe lies wrapped in hope. But life has a way of testing the softness inside you. Bills piled up. Food felt smaller each week. Rent grew higher. I stitched clothes late into the night, worked odd jobs, and stretched every rupee like it was elastic. Daniel grew quieter, lost in thoughts he never shared. Sometimes he stared at the children with a sadness I couldn't understand. Then one morning, he said he wanted to go overseas. He said he could earn more in 1 month there than in a whole year here. He said it was the only way to save our family. I didn't want him to go. The thought of raising 3 children alone terrified me, but his eyes held that stubborn determination, the kind you can't fight. So I agreed. To pay for his travel, I sold the gold bangles my mother gave me on my wedding day. I told myself it was worth it. He promised he'd replace them. I held on to that promise like oxygen. The day he left, the children clung to his legs. He hugged them quickly and kissed me once. A kiss that felt more like a goodbye than a promise to return. I didn't know that was the last time I'd feel him close. The first few weeks he called. He asked about the children, told me not to worry, told me everything would soon get better. But months passed. Calls grew shorter, then slower, then disappeared. He stopped saying, "I miss you," started saying, "I'm tired," then stopped saying anything at all. The first month, no money. Second month, nothing. Third month, again, nothing. Every day I woke before sunrise and worked until midnight. I washed clothes for neighbors, cooked food for families, cleaned houses while carrying my youngest on my hip. One evening, my oldest child asked, "Mama, did Baba forget us?" I forced a smile and said, "No, baby." But inside, my heart cracked like dry earth. A full year passed. And then, one random afternoon, Daniel walked through the door. No call, no warning, just walked in. The children ran to him, their hearts pure and hopeful. But Daniel didn't kneel to hug them. He didn't pick them up, didn't even look at them. Something cold lived in his eyes. He sat down and slid a folder toward me. He said he needed signatures to update his documents abroad. When I picked up the papers, a photograph slipped out. A woman, a baby, Daniel smiling. The smile he once gave only me. My fingers froze. My breath stopped. But I said nothing. That night, when he slept, I went through the documents, and everything became clear. He had built an entire life abroad. A new home, a new woman, a new baby. And he had used my sacrifices, my money, my hope to build it. But what hurt more than betrayal was the realization that he hadn't come home for us. He came to use me one more time. The next morning, I took every paper to a lawyer. For the first time in a year, I felt strength. Quiet, calm, rising inside me. 2 days later, when Daniel came to collect the signed papers, I looked at him and said, I showed everything to a lawyer. His face drained of color. He shouted, blamed me, called me names, accused me of ruining his life. But I stood still, unshaken, unmoved. Moments later, legal officers arrived with notices. Daniel tried to deny everything, but the documents exposed him. He couldn't take the house, couldn't take the land, couldn't take the children, couldn't take a single penny. And now, he owed child support every month. He stormed out with nothing but rage. The children watched him leave, uncertain, confused. But I held them close and whispered, "It's okay. We're safe now." In the weeks that followed, peace returned slowly, gently. The children laughed more. The nights felt lighter. The house finally felt like home again. Not because Daniel was here, but because he wasn't. People say heartbreak destroys you. Maybe it does. But it also rebuilds you, stronger than before. I learned that a woman doesn't break when a man leaves. She breaks when she stops believing in herself. And I won't stop. Not now, not ever. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, like the video, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from. Your support means more than you know, and it helps me share more stories like this.